All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the men that taught me this word. I want to give honor and respect to the brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word in truth and sincerity. And I want to say Shalom to the brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's the Akim Wa Akwathium. All right, and what I want to get into tonight, is adultery, you know. And the reason I want to get into this, The reason I want to get into adultery is because a lot of people don't understand what adultery really is. They think if a woman sleep with another man when she's married, that's adultery. Now that's true. That's a sin. But they think also if a man sleep with a woman while he's married, that's adultery. And that's not true. All right. And we're going to get into that. But first, to start off, I want to get into, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, start at 3. It said, but I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is the Most High. So it's an order. And let's go down to 7, and it said, for a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So before we even get started on I go into these precepts, I want you people, especially you women out there, to know the order. And the order is that it's the Most High, Yahweh Shah, okay, who y'all ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and the man, then the woman, then the child. The man, woman, child. Above the man is not the woman. Okay, it's not it's not 50-50. The man is over the woman. And that's biblical. You see it right here. That don't mean, you should treat your woman, messed up, beating on her and all of that. What I'm telling you, ladies, is that you're not over the man. Okay, like it said, the man, it says, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man. All right. So I just wanted to start it off that let you ladies especially know that it is an order. OK. Whatever this society is teaching you is wrong. It's an order. All right. Now, let's get started because we on adultery. All right. And really, I could nail this with a couple scriptures, but I'm going to take you through. I'm going to give you a full meal of what is adultery. Okay. And what's not adultery. All right. And we're going to start off in Deuteronomy 22 and we go to 13. And it said, if any man take a wife and go into her, and it says go into her, because that's marriage is not. Now, in this society, yeah, you get a piece of paper and you marry. But biblical marriage, a marriage according to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, marriage is sex. So if it wasn't no girlfriend and boyfriend, okay, when a woman came to a certain age, her father married her off. All right. It wasn't, she didn't get the pick and I want this dude over here and all these type of things that you women could do now. No, your father, you belong to your father. Then he married you off and you belong to your husband. All right. He that getteth a wife getteth a possession. All right. So now back in Deuteronomy 22 and 13, if any man take a wife and go into her and hate her, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. All right, now what is a maid? Let's look that up, because that's going to clarify things. That's going to give you a little bit more insight. All right.
Strong's H 1331. Bethulim. Bethulim.
Bethulim, and that's in the Hebrew. And a maid is virginity. So men, ladies back in the day, your virginity was precious. It's not like now where you can go around, date. You done slept with all these dudes. You can date and sleep with men, and then no, you couldn't do that back in the day because you was counted as a hoe, a harlot. All right. In the ancient, in antiquity, your father, once you got of age, he married you off because that stopped whoredom in Israel. Okay. And we going to go through this thing, but I had to let you know a maid was a virgin. Once you wasn't a virgin, you're not a maid anymore, and you were counted as a harlot. All right. In antiquity, women only knew one man, which was their husband. Okay. So now back in it, and it says, back in 14, and it said, and give occasions of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her, as you see an evil name. Okay, listen. And say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, not a virgin. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city of the gate. Now, the token was the blood, okay? Because when you go into that word token, let's just do it for edification's sake. When you go into tokens, oh, they might not have it. Let me see. Right, so when you go into token, sign of definite direct object, okay? Tokens basically mean a sign of a woman's virginity. Because when you got married in the ancient world, you and the guy, you would go in a tent, you would go in a home, you would have sex, the woman would bleed on a cloth, and that would be a sign of her virginity. But if that didn't happen, that would be a sign that she already slept with somebody else, and she would be counted as a harlot. All right. So, and the damsel father shall say unto, oh wait, back in 15, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he have given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, a virgin, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. Okay. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, and the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him. All right. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel. So if the guy proved to be a liar, he had to give up 100 shekels of silver to the father. Okay. All right, continuing on, because he have brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. See, this was key, a virgin, okay? You ladies had to be virgins. All right, it's not like no. All right, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then she shall be brought out. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she have wrought, and the word for wrought means work, wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. All right. So they didn't play that in antiquity. You women got a lot of liberty now. You know what I'm saying? You can date, you can choose boyfriends, you can sleep with whoever you want. That wasn't the case in antiquity. All right. Your father would, a lot of you ladies, as well as us men, we would be married. Okay. A lot of us will probably have more than one wife, you know, and we about to get into that. All right. So the next scripture I want to get into, let's go to Leviticus. All right. Leviticus 20:10 it say, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Okay? So if you was found sleeping with another man's wife, guess what? You and her got put to death. Now, when you read down, it talks about, basically if she didn't authorize it, then, if she was a virgin and she didn't authorize you to take her or whatever, then you had to pay. But basically, like in this society, you could sleep with another man's wife and it's nothing. But in antiquity, you would be put to death because it was serious, all right? Now from there, let's go to Judges. All right, because now we about to go into this thing. Slakia. All right, let's go to Judges chapter 8. And we gonna start at 30, all right? Now this is Gideon, right? He basically was sent to save Israel from the Midianites, all right? So Judges 8 and 30. Salakia, give me 1 second. I want to see something. All right, Judges 8:30. Yep. All right, so start at 30. And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son. So we had wives and concubines. It was nothing wrong for us to have wives and concubines, okay? Let's look up that word concubine for edification's sake.
Strong's H 6370. Pelegesh. Pelegesh.
All right. And that's
Second entry.
All right. So Pelegesh in the Hebrew, concubine, paramour, and it's not really given, but a concubine basically will be like a lesser wife, A lot of times a concubine was a slave, one of your wives, because in antiquity our wives had what they call handmaids, which were slaves really, okay? And we finna get into everything, all right? Let's go into Genesis chapter 25. And we're going to start at 25. No. I'm sorry. We're going to start at 1. All right, everybody know, we can all agree that Abraham was a man of the Lord, correct? Right. All right. So it says right here, and we all know that Abraham was married to Sarah, right? But he had other wives, all right? Then again, Abraham took a wife and her name was Keturah, okay? So he had another wife named Keturah. Now let's scroll down to 25. Is it 25? No. I'm sorry, Salaki. Let's scroll down to 12. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. So he had Keturah, but he had Ishmael, his son from Hagar, who was his wife Sarah's handmaid, aka slave. Just for edification's sake, let's look up the word handmaid.
Strong's H 8198. Shifcha. Shifcha.
Shifcha, okay? Maid servant, slave girl, maid servant, as belonging to a mistress. All right, we get the point. So like I said, Sarah, handmaid, was also Abraham's wife, okay? All right, because he had Keturah, Hagar, Sarah. All right, let's keep rolling. And we pretty much got it right here, but we're going to get into it even deeper. Next, we're going into 2 Chronicles, chapter 11. All right, we're going to 2 Chronicles, chapter 11. We're going to start at 21. And this is going into Rehoboam. And Rehoboam is who? King Solomon's son. All right. And Rehoboam, starting at 21. And Rehoboam loved Maacah, the daughter of Absalom, above all his wives and concubines. For he took 18 wives and threescore is 60 concubines, and begat 28 sons and threescore daughters. So he had, matter of fact, let's do this just for edification's sake. All right. NIV, Rehoboam loved Maacah, daughter of Absalom, more than any of his other wives and concubines. In all, he had 18 wives and 60 concubines, 28 sons and 60 daughters. Okay? All right. So Rehoboam, he was a king. Okay? He was the king over the southern kingdom after King Solomon. All right? Over Levi, Judah, and Benjamin, which was the southern kingdom. All right? He was a king. And if this was a sin, adultery, to have more than one wife, the Lord would have been broke it up. You know, he would have sent at least a prophet to him. And we finna get into everything. I'm just taking you through it, all right? So you can get a understanding of what's adultery for real. And I already read it basically in Judges 8 and 30, all right? But we gonna keep rolling. All right, Genesis 30, starting at 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no child, and Rachel was Jacob's wife, and when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no child, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. All right. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in the Most High stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, behold, my maid, okay, her slave, Bilhah, go into her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. All right. So back in antiquity, say if you had your wife or you was a lady and you had a slave and you couldn't have kids, you would give your slave to your husband. He would go into her and they would have a child, and that child would be yours. All right. Verse 4, and she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, again, her slave, to wife, and Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. See? And Rachel said, the Most High have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. All right. So the handmaid had it, but it was her child, because the slave was basically Rachel, that was her property. All right. Now from there, let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 5. And we're going to start at 12. All right. Now this is King David. And King David was a man of the Lord. Everybody know that. All right. So if he started going off, which he did, but the Lord would let him know and chastise him. All right. Because Israel as a whole, when we went off, we got chastised as a nation. All right. But we're going to get into it. 2 Samuel chapter 5, starting at 12. And David perceived that the Lord has established. Wait, hold on. Let me see something. me see something. It's a lot. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Let's start at 10. And David went on, getting to the point. And David went on and grew great, and the Lord power of hosts was with him. All right. I just wanted to prove that point that the Lord was with him. We all know King David was a man of the Lord. All right. So now let's go to 12. And David perceived that the Lord had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. All right. 13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come out of Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. All right. So let's keep going, because I want y'all to get the full understanding of what is adultery. And it's not what you've been taught in these churches that, or if you a dude, it's been many divorces because the woman say, oh, my husband cheated on me. A man can't cheat on you, okay? You can cheat on that man, but a man can't cheat on you. If a man is dealing with 5 women, he's not committing adultery, okay? Unless one of those women or some of those women are married, then he's committing adultery. Hence, going back to Leviticus, okay? Even Judges, all right? So 2 Samuel chapter 11, all right? And basically, let's start at 9. All right, so this is King David, and some of us know about the story of Bathsheba, all right? Now, this is when King David went off. Now we about to get more in depth in adultery. All right, getting to the point. All right. Matter of fact, let's start at 2. And it came to pass in the evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? All right. Now, let's skip down to 9. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thy house? And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in open fields. Shall I then go into my house to eat and drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thou soul liveth, I will not do this thing. So David wanted basically, let's see. So, all right, let's just get the backstory. Slakia. What happened was, okay, and let's go to 4. And David, because we at 3 it said, and one said, is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah, right? And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he laid with her, for she was purified from her uncleanliness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. And David sent Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. Excuse me, slop. All right. And when Uriah was slacking, and David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was coming to David, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said unto Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. But see, David wanted Uriah to go to his house to sleep with his wife. You know what I'm saying? Because, they had been at war. And he wanted him to do that because when Bathsheba told him he was pregnant, he was banking on that if he go sleep with his wife around the same time that David did, then they could just pawn the child off on Uriah. But that didn't happen, as you can see. Verse 9, but Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Then didst thou not go down unto thine house? And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into my house and eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thou soul liveth, I will not do this thing. And David said unto Slakia. And David said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but went not down to his house. So basically, Uriah still didn't go back home to sleep with Bathsheba. All right. So what King David did was, matter of fact, we just read 15, and he wrote in the letter saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. So he wanted him to die in battle, so he can just kill him off, basically. All right. So David was going off with this, right? All right, and skipping down, let's go to 17. And it said, and the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, when thou hast made an end of telling the matters of the war unto the king, and if so be that the king's wrath arise, and he say unto thee, wherefore approach ye so now unto the city? When did ye fight? When ye did fight, know ye not that they would shoot from the wall, who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast a piece of a millstone upon him from the wall, that he died in Thebes? All right. Why went ye not nigh the wall? Then say thou, thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So that would appease David, because he wanted Uriah to go. So he basically kind of would be clear. All right. But going down, 19, but when we go down, matter of fact, when we go to chapter 12, and all right, let's skip to 9. And this is Nathan the prophet. He was sent to David. And this is the message. He said, wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me. and hast taken thy wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun. See? So if it was a sin to have more than one woman, more than one wife, that would have been stated. The sin was him sleeping with another man's wife. All right. That was the sin. All right. Let's get into some more scripture. Let's go to 1 Kings. All right. All right. Now this King Solomon, which was another man of the Lord. All right. This is David's son. All right. King Solomon was the wisest king of all. All right. But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh. Now, the daughter of Pharaoh was his wife. All right. Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye should not go into them, neither shall they come unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Okay. All right. Solomon clave unto these in love, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his power, and was the heart of David his father. All right. So basically, Solomon, where he went off is not having the wives. It was letting the women turn away his heart. All right. And scriptures tell you, you know what I'm saying, about it's an abomination to sacrifice and worship these false idols, false gods, man. All right. So basically, you should get the picture, but I got a little bit more. I want to go back to Deuteronomy 21. All right. Deuteronomy 21, 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated. Now this is the law. One beloved and another hated, and they have borne him they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. All right. So if it was a sin, it would have been stated, no, you can't have more than one wife. All right. That was basically only for like if you was a bishop or something, or a priest. All right. Then you couldn't have all them wives. All right. So now let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, starting at 29. And it said, so he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. Right. So it don't say if you sleep with a woman while you married. It say, so he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touch her shall not be innocent. All right. And then we can go again, just backing it up, because we going all around with it. You go to Genesis 20 and you start at 1. And Abraham, now this is an account, right? And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, all right, remember he had Keturah and Hagar, all right. remember back in what was that, Genesis 25, or back, he had Bilhah, he had Hagar, and not Keturah. No, that was Jacob who had Bilhah, but he had Keturah, and he had Sarah, and he had Hagar. But here going to count with him and Sarah. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But the Most High came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. That's adultery, okay? If she wouldn't have been married, he could have took her. Verse 4, but Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister? And even she herself said, he is my brother. All right. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And the Most High said unto him in a dream, yeah, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, what hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done these unto me that ought not to be done. Right. So you see where the fear came in. It wasn't that, and this guy Abimelech probably had wives. It wasn't about how many women a man had. It was about if you were sleeping with another man's wife. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get this last precept, because we didn't touched. I didn't just about prove the point. So it's really not up for debate anymore. All right, Numbers 31:17. And it says, now therefore, and this is when we went to war, right? Now therefore, all right. 17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. But all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. All right. So, because in war, women was spoiled. You was counted as spoiled. You see what I'm saying? You see where it said kill all the men and the little ones. But take the women and kill the women that was already married. And it said lying with man. Because when you lied with a man, that was your husband, And you couldn't lie with 2, 3, 4, 5. You would be a harlot, like we just proved in other scriptures, okay? So this is adultery. Adultery is when a man sleep with another man's wife, or if a woman sleep with anybody but her husband, all right? So I hope that was edifying. Until the next lesson, Shalom.